Hey, I'm Meghann Scully, and this is the Limerick Post Show. Coming up in today's show, the big interview is with Rachael OBrien, who's a midwife in the University Maternity Hospital, to talk about a very sensitive subject, pregnancy and loss. First up, though, the top stories around Limerick. Well, we have a Rose of Tralee. Yes, Sinead Flanagan, our Limerick Rose, was crowned the International Rose of Tralee for 2019. We head over to the Woodlands in Adair for her homecoming to chat to her all about being crowned. We're in the Woodlands Hotel where the homecoming of the Rose of Tralee, Sinead Flanagan, is taking place.
As I've come to realise, it's such a fantastic honour that to be bestowed with, and I really am looking forward to representing everyone over the next year. We should have a fantastic time, and it's great for our fabulous county, who are fantastic supporters. As Tom was saying, the sponsorship I received in Limerick was second to none. Everyone was so happy to help, and I just think we're so lucky to have such a supportive place.
The lady of the hour, the lady of the year, Sinead Flanagan. There's a funny story behind all of this, really. It's curious how rose coordinators go about finding roses for a selection. Sometimes they just appear. For the Limerick Rose selection this year, we were quite content with the group that we had. It was brilliant. We were all set to run our selection. We had our night out, and then on April Fool's Day, Tuesday the 1st of April, I got another email, and I had a look at it and said I'd be a fool not to ring this girl. So we gave her a call. She found a sponsor quick as a flash, the Good Food Company, I believe it is, and they were more than happy to oblige by putting a sash on her shoulder. And she joined us for the Rose Tour that weekend. And from there, we haven't looked back in terms of having the amount of fun. And the selection night here, where she obviously wowed the crowd along with all the other fabulous girls that were here. And if anything we can take from Sinead's story there is that it's just go for it. It doesn't matter if you think it's too late to apply. I'm sure some of the other girls will tell you the same story. Whatever you want to do in life, just go for it. If you want to do 2 degrees, just go for it.
Now I'm joined by the lady herself, the International Rose Tree, Sinead Flanagan. How are you feeling right now?
Good, fantastic. I'm delighted to be back here in Adair, where it all started for me in my rose journey. So it's fantastic.
Only a couple of weeks ago, we were speaking to you on the Limerick Post Show, and you were preparing to go on the Rose Tour, and then of course to brace the stage. And now you're here as the 60th International Rose Tralee. I mean, I saw as well when you got called out that time, you were in shock. But bring us back to that moment when Dahi called out your name.
So I think I've explained to most people, I wasn't thinking, sorry. I was so surprised, as you could probably see. And then the other 31 fantastic girls came in and just came around me, supported me, as they have been doing for the last 2 weeks, and I'm sure as they'll continue to do. And it was just fantastic. I saw my mum and dad down there, very excited, as everyone sees my very excited dad. So it was fantastic. And I suppose the first thought I had when I started to realise that it was the people of Limerick would be so proud. And that was my main goal, no matter whether I was just the Limerick Rose or the Rose Tralee, that I made the people of the Treaty County proud.
So we'll have to ask, and I think a lot of people have been saying, so what happens now? Are you going to have to step away from the medicine for the year and fulfil your rose duties?
No, I don't plan on stepping away. I'm hoping to marry the two together well. I think after 8 years in college, I wouldn't be wise to step away from it all. So no, worked hard to get where I am. So I'm hoping to marry the two, and I'm sure it can be done. Jennifer from 2017 was the exact same position as me in her journey of medicine. So hopefully she'll be able to give some advice.
Absolutely incredible. Now talk to us about, the crown. It's just absolutely stunning.
Yeah, so it's fantastic. Tipperary Crystal are fantastic sponsors, and they'll be looking after me throughout the year. So it's overwhelming at the start to be wearing it, but it's actually very comfortable and it's fitting quite nicely, so it's good.
And now another thing that I noticed, and I have to ask you about, the dress you wore on stage. Now, of course, the dress you've on right now is fantastic.
Thank you.
But the one you had on stage, tell me about that.
So it was actually a lovely lady in Mallow called Sharon Gregory. I approached her. I was working in Mallow General at the time, and she's actually from Kilfinnan, so she's a proud Limerick lady herself. So I approached her about the dress, and within a couple of minutes she was back. She'd be delighted, and we mutually agreed on the colour had to be green. So I think as you can see tonight, I'm probably going to be wearing green a lot throughout the year, and I met a lot of people in Limerick before I was even going down to Tralee, and they were like, I hope your dress is green. So we're very proud of where we come from, and Limerick people are infamously proud of what they, so it's fantastic.
All I can say is congratulations again. I cannot wait to see what's next throughout this year between medicine and of course between the International Rose of Tralee. Thank you so much for chatting to Limerick Post.
Thanks so much, Meghann.
More great news for Limerick, as Munster's Peter O'Mahony has been announced as captain of the Irish squad, who face Wales in Principality Stadium this weekend. Now to our Roundabout section, and during the week, Cian headed to the Belltable, where the launch of the Lime Tree Theatre and Belltable autumn schedule was taking place, and Fidget Feet were chatting all about their show.
So the first show is called Bingo Wings, and it's like if you take a game of bingo in the 70s and 80s in Ireland and you mix it with Fidget Feet's crazy aerial Flanagans and lots of theatre and jokes and fun and a mixture of some of the community groups that we've been working with, and you throw that together with 9 performers. It's a fast speed show that from beginning to end just keeps you entertained. I'm very proud of it because it's a dream of mine for the last 8 years to be able to make a show of this scale and also find the funding to do that and work with really great director Joe Mangan and also to find a way to do it in Limerick and collaborate with all these different communities and with the Limerick City and County Council. So it's a really great show to bring to the Lion Tree and use all the amazing aerial aspects that's there. It's one of the best theatres in Ireland to do aerial. And then the other show is called Hatch, which is a children's show for the ages 4 to 8. And it's all about butterflies and caterpillars and moths. And it's what Fidget Feet has always been doing is creating shows for little kids where they feel part of the show and they're sitting in with the show and the show happens above them and around them and they get to make caterpillars beforehand, and then as the show develops, the little caterpillar leaves that they're sitting on becomes butterfly wings, and then they become butterflies with us. But the theme of the show is a difficult theme. It's about transformation and death, and it's a thing that's very scary to talk to children about. And we were scared as a theatre company to even take on that subject. But we have, and it's done in a really tasteful way. So that's the 2 shows we're bringing to you guys.
Also during the week, I head over to Mother Max and I chat to singer-songwriter Ivan Nicolas all about his music career. We're here in Mother Max and I'm joined by Ivan Nicolas, who's travelled all the way from Dublin. I have to say thank you so much for coming down to us here in Limerick.
Thanks for having me down, Meghann. Cheers.
Now, we did chat a bit earlier. You do have a little bit of a love for Limerick. Tell me your history with Limerick.
I do indeed. I was in college in Limerick. I was in UL. Did music and media performance technology. So lived here for like 4 years and had a great time. Not sure how well the college course went, but definitely some great nights out in Limerick.
Now, not to give me away your age, what year did you graduate?
What year did I graduate? God, it must have been 2012, maybe 12.
So we would have been UL at the same time. I was 2011, so we probably would have crossed paths. We never even knew.
Yeah.
What would it, apart from Mother Max now, what would have been your stomping ground in your Limerick?
Oh, I think it was Icon. Is that? And there's one near the college as well. What was it? The name of it? Do you know?
The Hurlers?
The Hurlers, yeah, the Hurlers.
Did you ever go to the Lodge nightclub?
Yeah, the Lodge. The Lodge actually is the one I'm talking about. The Lodge ended up the hair, guys, because walkable, so very handy.
I think we had quite a similar college experience.
Crazy.
So tell me about the early music career. Like, were you always playing music, or when did it kind of become a thing where you're like, right, this is actually what I want to do?
Yeah, so I started playing drums when I was around 16, and played drums for years. I played in a rock blues band. And then the guitarist kind of taught me guitar and started learning piano. It was kind of late enough when I started writing songs then, and but kind of started writing songs quite naturally then. And then I still play drums here and there, but mainly just piano and guitar. I use it as a kind of medium to write songs. Yeah. So.
And what was it like when you were a student in UL? Because I found that a lot of my interests and hobbies kind of fell to the wayside because I was having a lot of fun socialising. So did you find the music scene was good in Limerick at the time, or did you kind of just take a break from it because you were busy in college?
Yeah, no, well, see, the course I was in was a music media and performance technology, so there was lots of different musicians and DJs and producers, so like we're kind of around. I think the lads, the bassist from maybe Give a Man a Kick from Limerick, and there was just loads of different musicians. So like all the house parties, there was guitars and DJs playing. So it was all very musical. Yeah.
That actually just sounds like loads of crack. I remember one of the years I was in college, I lived with a DJ, and I have to say, it just suddenly changed the scene of the house parties when you have someone there that actually play the music for you. Our house became very popular, I found, and I'm sure you must have been the same.
Yeah, extremely popular. Like, and it was unbelievable. Some like the setup and some. I think one of the guys worked. He did his summers over in Glastonbury. So when he threw a house party, like there was like he changed all the lights and put a lighting system in, and like it was unbelievable. Like for a house party, it was crazy. So yeah, so it's good times.
We just want to apologise to all the landlords there in Limerick, but we've long graduated, so it's okay. We're gone. The noisy people are gone. Now, tell me about your more recent works. Now, I believe you worked with a guy who worked with Johnny Cash. Am I right?
Yeah, so he was, when I first kind of started like playing a lot of guitar, I was doing some cover gigs and just started writing songs initially. I got put in contact with this guy called Philip Donnelly, and he's from Clontarf originally, but he went to the States early on, and he played with the Everly Brothers and Johnny Cash and everything. It was an older fella, but it was a really good introduction to kind of like, you know, what it is to write a good song, and, you know, like performance. And I think he's still playing around. I think he lives in Kilkenny now or something. But it was a great kind of, you know, entry to do a kind of small tour with him. Yeah.
Must be pretty good to be in a room with someone and for him to be like, I've worked with Johnny Cash and I've done like been around in his company and in the same room as him. Like something like that must be pretty magical.
Yeah, no, it was amazing. Like, yeah, and he really believed in me as well. So it was real, you know. It was a great start, but it was very early on as well. So I'd only written maybe 4 or 5 songs, and then the rest were covers. But yeah, that was great.
Tell me, how's the songwriting going now, and where is it like you get your inspiration from?
Yeah, good. Like, you know, it's kind of, you know, it kind of comes and goes, but it's always hanging around. But inspirations from bands you've listened to, a lot of stuff like, say, my dad would have listened to growing up. You know, he listened to a lot of Neil Young, like Paul Simon, stuff like that. So that always kind of sticks to you. Then you listen to the more modern stuff, like, you know, Big Thief, or at the moment listen to a lot of them. But yeah, the songwriting's gone great. Writing all the time, and just gearing up to record another new song at the moment. So yeah,
lovely stuff. You're going to perform for us now in a little while out in the main bar. But something I have to ask. You're a Dublin man, but I believe on All Ireland final day you're going to be torn.
Yeah, so I've Dublin accent or some sort of accent, and but my whole family are from Kerry, so yeah, so I'm Kerry blood all the way to the top. So I'll definitely be pulled. I say I'll have to shave for Kerry. Yeah,
it's funny, isn't it, though, too? It's kind of like even though I'm sure your family are living in Dublin now, it's like when the Kerry blood is there, or any county you're from, like you've Mayo fans and Galway and everything, it's like, even if they move into the capital, they are not going to drop and pick up a new county. It's like, no, we're diehard from where we're from. So do you find out, like, do you get back to Kerry much? Do you get down to visit Kerry?
Yeah, no, I do. Yeah, and I lived there maybe 2 or 3 years ago. I moved down for kind of a year. Kind of lived on my own. Did a lot of songwriting, and always up and down. Get a lot of inspiration from Kerry, and a lot of bands do. A lot of bands kind of hang around, kind of like West Kerry, you know. Just great inspiration. It's just great space, you know.
Yeah, I have to find that. I think that I know Dingle is very popular with the Coronas now, and they go down there recording on music and Thanks Brother and stuff. And it's just something down there. Like I go down there even just speaking Irish, and there's something about Kerry and Dingle, and I know the bars, I suppose, and the Wild Atlantic Way. It's quite an inspiring place.
Yeah, certainly, definitely is. Yeah, there is just a kind of magic there. So, yeah, and especially when I'm there, I feel at home, and yeah, it's definitely magical.
Incredible. Yeah. Now, before we get to the song, do tell us any upcoming gigs planned, or what's the plan for I keep saying the rest of the summer, but summer's basically over, so I'm going to say autumn. Yeah,
so I'm just at the moment just going to start working on this new single at the moment, so hopefully going to release that at the end of September, and then should have first show of this year, or second show this year in, I think, the Sound House in Dublin, just towards the end of November. We're just kind of nailing down a date at the moment. But then going to kick off 2020 with going to try and get around the country. And finally, if anyone wants to listen to your music, are your social media handles, where are they and what are they? Yeah, so it's Instagram's Ivan Nicolas Music, Facebook's the same, and then I'm on Spotify, Apple Music, SoundCloud. Super. Yeah. Ivan, thanks so much for chatting to Limerick Post. Thanks so much, Meghann. Cheers. Thanks. It's rolling, is it? Cool. Dog, the cat and the mouse, does every colour here. No one danced with fear, the wind blew in diamonds from the sea. I'm so in love, yeah, I'm so in love. I'm so in love, yeah, I'm so in love. Will you be my Sicily? Take me home on the setting sun. Oh, smiling a game on the seafront of fame. Now I know I found my one. At the end of the street there's a yellow dimming light where the narrow vision falls. Together our path makes a familiar map. Now the revolution calls. I'm so in love, yeah, I'm so in love. I'm so in love, yeah, 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 I'm so in love. Will you be my Sicily? Take me home on the setting sun. Oh, smiling a game on the seafront of fame. Now I know I found my one. Will you be my Sicily? Take me home on the setting sun. Oh, smiling a game on the seafront of fame. Now I know I found my one. In the moment of your life, could you let the sunlight guide? You gotta let the sunlight guide. In the moment of your life, in the moment of your life, could you let the sunlight guide? You gotta let the sunlight guide. In the moment of your life, will you be my Sicily? Take me home on the setting sun. Oh, smiling a game on the seafront of fame. Now I know I found my one. Will you be my Sicily? Take me home on the setting sun. Oh, smiling a game on the seafront of fame. Now I know I found my one. I'm going home on the setting sun. Now I know I found my one. I'm going home on the setting sun. Now I know I found my one. Will you be my Sicily? Now I know I found my one. How will you be my Sicily? I'm going home on the setting sun.
Joining me in studio now is Rachael OBrien of the University Maternity Hospital, also known as St Munchin's. And what we're going to talk about now is probably quite an upsetting topic for quite a lot of women and men out there as well. We're going to be talking about pregnancy and pregnancy loss. Now, you are looking to set up a charity. Can you tell me why you want to set up this charity?
I suppose just as a woman and as a mother myself, and secondary title would be as a midwife, I suppose I see an aspect where we can kind of have a way forward movement about raising awareness around pregnancy loss. Statistics show it's 1 in 4 women, and I feel like there's maybe a bit of a taboo about it, and it's about women opening up and saying, you know what, I suffered a loss and me too. And if it's not yourself, it can be your mother, it could be your daughter, it could be your aunt, your friend. So I feel it's a topic that touches everybody. So we're kind of just starting. I have 2 kids myself. There's previous loss as well that has been surrounding me in many different ways in my own personal life, and it kind of came across my path, and I was able to start maybe some fundraising and about let's moving this forward, about first developing with the hospital any services within the hospital that we can help with, having perspectives from both sides of the coin that we can just make improvements for women.
I think as well it's very important, I suppose, for women to know out there that, you know, as you said, 1 in 4, like that's a crazy figure. It's startling to think that there's that many women. So that just shows, walking around Limerick City right now, there is a majority of women who have either have lost a baby or have dealings with loss. So I suppose it's a way to get these women together, to support each other, to look after each other, to realise that they're in a caring environment where they have that support and they can all look after each other. And even if it's something like going for a coffee together and just being able to chat and know that they can chat in a comfortable space. Because I know for a lot of women it's quite, I suppose, it is quite hard because if they lose a baby, they'll always know someone or see someone that was at the same stage of pregnancy. So then they're walking around and they're seeing buggies and they're seeing newborns, and I suppose when they're in the hospital and they suffer loss, they're surrounded by newborn babies. So I imagine it's extremely difficult.
This is where the fundraiser has come into play. This is where we are hosting the table quiz on the 6th of October. It's a Sunday evening. I'm looking at it as a very positive event. I'm looking at it about the city pulling together. We're about raising funds and putting them into improvements within the hospital, starting first and foremost, because I work with fabulous people and we do our best. And when women present, it's about making changes within the areas and the pathways they continue through to, if it's a simple coffee machine. I know that sounds really simple, but that's about where we try and aim things, like nice comfortable seating, nice lighting, artwork, very, very relevant, simple, that can have a massive impact on their journey through the hospital. So it's about, some women can present and it's very unplanned. They could be out somewhere and there's a reason why they need to present us quickly without stopping at home for anything. So it's about being equipped with inside the hospital that we can say, okay, we have these areas of comfort and we have these areas where we have things at hand that can help these women through the process without needing to send people out for things, or you know what I mean. So that's where I'm looking, that if the fundraiser snowballs, which I'm hoping, that the funds will go into stuff like that. And it's even reaching out to the city about sponsorships. If there's anybody out there, businesses, anybody, companies that want to reach out to me, they can. I'm actually going to give my personal email. It's rachandemily@gmail.com. So it's RACHANDEMILY@gmail.com. If they want to reach out to me about donating even a spot price or anything like that, and it'll all go towards these women.
But even just thinking there, you said when someone might present themselves very short notice, something like a brand new pajamas, fluffy socks, toiletries, the basics. That's what sometimes it is, just the basics, to have them there in hand and to be in a space where they can feel a small bit of comfort in a very distressing time.
Exactly. So just that tiny element that can make the distressing time less painful. Yeah. And we are there to offer our support, our empathy, and kind of be with them. I'd like these women to know as well, like we are mothers as well that work out there. We've been affected, our colleagues, you know what I mean? So it's about knowing that they can come to us and we're totally like offer whatever we can to them. And this is about the whole movement forward on it. Let's raise the awareness. Let's just put our hands up and say, you know what, I've suffered too. Me too, do you know? And it's not until you say it that women actually say, yeah, actually I've been there. And
then you can create kind of support groups and everything from this.
100%.
And now one thing we do want the help from the Limerick Post viewers is a name, because you haven't come up with a name yet for this and you want something that just completely pulls it all together.
Yes. Brainstorming names, something that's very relevant, that isn't too insensitive. It needs to be thought about. And it's about the support of women as well as their partners. Reaching out to everybody. I've noticed there's a lot of men affected as well, which is, it's something that you don't even think about. And I found from speaking with people, they deal with their grief later. Because their first and foremost is the woman and supporting their woman and making sure she's okay. They kind of bottle up a little bit. So it's later on. Now, I'm talking about, it can be much later on.
Could be months, could be years.
Yes.
Yeah, and grief there's no time limit on grief.
There's no time limit on it. So it's about, let's all pull together. Businesses, women, men, friends, colleagues, everything. Why not? Yeah, absolutely. Rachel, thank you so much for chatting to us in Limerick Post. And as I said, if you've got an idea for a name of this, please do comment below or drop an email. Can you remind us of your email address? rachandemily@gmail.com. Rachael OBrien, thank you so much. Thank you.
That's it for this week's show. For these stories and so much more, head over to limerickpost.ie/show. I'm Meghann Scully and this is the Limerick Post Show, keeping Limerick posted.